Welcome to another episode of Mike at the Museum. Not too long after I started here at the museum, we had at least what I guess I would consider to be our first big acquisition. Now, when people come to the museum or I give some tours of the museum, I kind of get the same question, and that question is, how did you get that into the museum? Well, believe it or not, I guess this is going to be kind of like a found footage, because the day that acquisition came in, I did take some video, but I'm going to be honest, I thought I had lost that video. Couldn't find it for the longest time, and then just about a month or so ago, I found it. So we're going to kind of do a behind the scenes look of how we got that acquisition into the museum. Now, I know the one question that you're asking is, what acquisition are you talking about? Well, I got one word for you. Fred. So after Mr. Soper agreed to gift the truck to the museum, there were a couple of issues. How do we get it to the museum, and how do we get it lifted 4 feet in the air to get it onto our deck? Well, with the help of the Munkin family, we were put in touch with Don's Auto Body Shop. They agreed to go get the truck, and they had a lift to get the truck onto our deck. It just so happens that Don's Auto Body Shop did some of the actual body restoration work on the truck after Mr. Soper purchased it. Here is the truck as it was raised to the level of our deck. All there was to do now was to unhook the truck and to start getting it rolled inside the museum. By the way, the gentleman closest to the camera is Mr. Soper, the truck's owner. Okay, so once we got the truck up onto the deck, these are the doors that we had to bring it through. Now, Fred had about 2 or 3 inches of clearance up top, so yeah, just enough to get it through those doors. So now let me turn the camera around and we'll show you the path we had to take. Okay, so once we got Fred into the doors, which you'll see here in a moment, we had to do a double take. We just were able to wheel the truck back this way, and then we had to make just this little slight turn. And once again, no, there's not a lot of area on each side of the path that we had to take. So yeah, it was fun to try and get Fred just in the right spot. Now, ultimately back here, this little glass case that you see, we did move, and then there's a glass case right here set next to, there's Fred back there, that we had to push back a little bit, and that gave us just enough room after we got saved, which we'll talk about later on. And that allowed us to put Fred back where he now sits in the museum today. Here was our first attempt to bring the truck into the building. In this video, you can see me, Jessica Nix Coleman, who was a board member at the time, now our board president, Marcus Holland from the Centralia Chamber of Commerce, and John Shaw. We started to back the truck in and realized that we needed to have me actually use the steering wheel to help turn the truck. But we had to start over as we were simply too close to the glass case and couldn't make the turn that we needed to make to proceed. In this second attempt, we did a better job of steering the truck so we could make that sharp turn. At the back of the truck, you can again see John Shaw, and next to him is Mr. Soper, the truck's owner.
Slow, stop. You got a little room. Go ahead. I think you might make it. Yep.
That's looking a lot better, but it's not enough.
I don't know how it's over there, but it's fine on this side.
You're fine over here. You got all kinds of room.
Yep.
Not really turn it real hard.
Turn it as far as it'll go.
The gentleman opposite me helping is Mr. Jones. He's our librarian's husband, and he will play a vital role later on.
Over here. How are we back there?
Yeah, can we go forward a little?
Once we were able to make that turn, it was just a matter of walking the truck back to the last turn to get it set in its final spot.
I think that's the right angle. When we go forward, section. There you go. You've got to get clear there. Okay.
And now it's time for that final turn. So at this point, we had the truck ready to make that final turn and get into the area we had cleared out for it. But the issue was that the turn was just a little too much of a turn for the space we had to work in. Here is where our librarian's husband saved the day. He found a car jack that was on wheels that we had down in the basement. He was able to bring it up and place it on the back of the truck. This allowed us to swivel the back end of the truck very easily. This saved the day, as we could now just swing the back of the truck into place without having to move another of the big glass cabinets blocking our way. One other note, the lady that's in the striped shirt is Eleanor McKay, who at the time was our board president. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Mike at the Museum, which I guess I should entitle The Story of Fred and How Fred Got into the Museum. I know for me it was rather interesting because once they put Fred up onto that dock and we started to wheel him back in, I gotta admit, I was one of those people going, is he gonna fit? Is he not? I don't know. But everything worked out, and I know that there are a lot of people when they come to the museum and they see Fred, they just have a lot of fun looking at him and hearing the story about him. Speaking of stories, if you like what you hear on today's episode, hey, like, subscribe, share this video. Come back to our YouTube. We've got some other videos up and running, and we're going to keep trying to put out about one a month. So I really hope you like it. But hey, even better, if you want to come see some of these exhibits that we talk about here on this channel, come to the Centralia Area Historical Museum. We're located at 240 South Locust. We are open Wednesdays and Fridays, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the cost to get in, oh, it's so expensive. It's called free. So there you go. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.